Hey guys, Noah here, and welcome to the final story of our 5-part Shenmue novella. The story takes place in Dobuita, Japan. A young girl named Nozomi Harasaki has always been in love with Ryo Hazuki, her childhood friend, and the local martial arts hero that everyone in town admired and looked up to. Nozomi had always deeply admired Ryo, but it pained her greatly that he was never able to return the affection. Ever since Ryo's father, the great martial arts legend Iwao Hazuki, was murdered by the head of the Chinese Cartel, Ryo has been determined to get revenge on the man who killed his father, Lan Di. Ryo would focus on nothing else but revenge, and was even going to go to China to track Lan Di down. But this pained Nozomi greatly, as she didn't want to see Ryo throw his life away, and secretly, if not selfishly, wished he would return her affection for him, and maybe stay with her and help her run her flower shop. Things take a turn for the worst, however, when Nozomi discovers that her parents are forcing her to move back to Canada to be with them. Nozomi's life is right here in Dobuita, and she doesn't want to go back and leave her friends and family behind, nor does she want to be apart from Ryo. But Ryo hardly even notices her, and is determined to go to China and avenge his father's murder. Nozomi feels helpless, like all the decisions in her life are being made for her, and nobody but her best friend Eri is even considering what she wants in all of this. This is the story of the Flower of Dobuita. As Nozomi walked home from school, she couldn't help but feel a heavy weight on her heart. The cherry blossoms were in full bloom, their delicate petals falling like confetti, but all she could think about was the impending move to Canada and leaving everything she loved behind. "Nozomi, wait up," Eri called, jogging to catch up with her friend. "Are you okay? You've been really quiet all day." Nozomi let out a sigh, her shoulders slumping. I don't know, Eri. Everything feels so overwhelming right now. I can't believe my parents are making me move back to Canada." Eri frowned sympathetically. "I can't imagine how hard that must be for you, especially since you don't want to leave Ryo behind." Nozomi blushed at the mention of Ryo's name. Ever since they were children, she had harbored a deep crush on him. He was strong and brave, always standing up for what was right, and it made her heart flutter whenever he flashed her one of his rare smiles. "Yeah," Nozomi admitted softly. "I've always hoped that that he would feel the same way about me. But he's so focused on avenging his father's death and going after Lan Di." Eri nodded in understanding. Ryo's single-minded determination had consumed him ever since his father had been murdered by Lan Di in front of their own home. "I know it's hard," Eri said gently, "but maybe this move is an opportunity for a fresh start? You'll be able to pursue your dreams and find someone who truly appreciates you." Nozomi smiled weakly at her friend's words of encouragement. She knew Eri was right. This move could be a chance for her to grow and discover herself outside of the shadow of her unrequited love for Ryo. As they approached Nozomi's house, she noticed a familiar figure standing outside, his dark hair touzled by the spring breeze. Her heart skipped a beat. "Ryo?" Nozomi called out tentatively. "What are you doing here?" Ryo turned to face her, his expression serious. "Nozomi, we need to talk." Nozomi felt a flutter of nervous excitement in her chest as she exchanged a glance with Eri before motioning for Ryo to follow her into the house. Once inside, Nozomi's grandmother greeted Ryo warmly and excused herself, giving the two young friends some privacy. Nozomi couldn't help but wonder what Ryo wanted to talk about, and if it had anything to do with the way her heart raced whenever he was near. Ryo cleared his throat, his dark eyes searching hers. "I heard about your parents' decision to move back to Canada. I know how much you don't want to leave Dobuita." Nozomi's cheeks flushed at his words, her heart pounding in her chest. "Yes, that's true, but I understand that you have your own path to follow as well." Ryo reached out and gently took her hand in his, sending an electric shock through her entire body. "Nozomi," he said softly, "I've been so focused on avenging my father that I haven't stopped to consider how my actions affect those around me, including you." Nozomi's breath caught in her throat as she listened intently. "I've been so full of anger," Ryo continued, that it's caused me to be reckless and not care about anything or anyone else around me. Ini-san was right. This isn't what my father wanted. Protecting those closest to me is more important. Nozomi's heart soared at Ryo's confession, tears welling up in her eyes. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. I hate Landi for what he did to my father, Ryo said, his voice filled with sincerity. But I don't want you to go. I know it's selfish of me, but I can't imagine my life without you in it, Nozomi. Nozomi's tears spilled over as she threw her arms around Ryo, holding him tightly. Oh, Ryo, I feel the same way. I've always loved you, and the thought of leaving you behind, it breaks my heart. Ryo held her just as tightly, his strong arms wrapped around her. In that moment, all the uncertainty and fear melted away, replaced by a profound sense of happiness and belonging. From that day forward, Nozomi and Ryo were inseparable. They worked together to convince Nozomi's family to let her stay in Dobuita and pursue her dreams of running a flower shop. And as they watched the cherry blossoms dance in the wind, they knew that their love would continue to bloom and grow, just like the delicate petals that adorned their beloved town. Thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider subscribing. It would really mean a lot as it does help this channel grow. Well, until next time, guys, take care.